Here's the great news. You can also learn triggers to minimize them because you've got the strong body-mind connection, right? So that's the great news here. If you already have panic attacks, anxiety attacks, or symptoms of fear with heart racing or trouble breathing, and you know that these are not from a heart issue, but actually from anxiety, let me give you some quick hope, okay? And I know this is going to sound counterproductive, but hear me out on this. If you are already having anxiety attacks or panic attacks, you've got a fantastic body-mind connection. You're very aware of what anxiety or panic feels like, and you're very aware of those body sensations, and you're really in tune to them. In fact, you're probably waiting for them to happen sometimes, and you're really taking the clues when they start to surface. But because you don't know how to turn them off, they come on you like a firestorm, and you don't know how to put the flames out. But I do! So let's get to it, right? I know I'm seeming a little relaxed about it, but it's because I know that you have the power in you to turn that off. If you're new here, my name is Michele Paiva. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and today we are going to cool the flames of that anxiety. So let's first talk about anxiety, right? The topic you don't want to talk about, let's talk about. But we can't deal with the solution until we get to the problem. So come on, let's talk about it. And actually comment below, what are your symptoms in anxiety? What are the things that really bother you the most? Or what are the fears that you have when you're in anxiety or panic? For some people, the fears are that they're going to be embarrassed. For other people, the fear is that they're going to die. Now, first, let me state, speaking of die, you should make sure with your physician that what you're feeling is not only biological, meaning it's not really about your mind. For some people, it could be low blood sugar. You could have heart problems, and I don't mean to induce anxiety here, but you do need to check with your physician to make sure that whatever you're feeling is in fact anxiety. For most of us, it's anxiety. So let's talk about the symptoms that you have. Comment below, and please comment below, because the more people that comment on the different types of symptoms that they have and how they're experiencing them, the more other people will know that they're not alone. So what are some of the symptoms? Well, the common symptoms that you might know are the heart racing or the sweating or the feeling that you can't quite swallow, that you have kind of a dry mouth or that your throat's constricting a little bit. There could be stomach upset or GI issues. So there's a lot of different just of those topical feelings, but some of the other feelings are just random dizziness. A lot of people think that they have inner ear issues or allergy issues because they get dizzy spells, and sometimes it's just anxiety. And when I say just anxiety, I don't mean to minimize anxiety. I'm saying, point blank, it's anxiety. So, of course, you always have to get checked by a physician to rule out anything that could be physiological only. But for a lot of us, that's a really common sign to have dizziness or weakness, even trembling. There are many symptoms of anxiety. I'm not going to go into all of them. This is just a few of them that I mentioned because there's just too many to mention. This would be a 5-hour video if I went into all of the symptoms. One thing I want you to understand is that anxiety isn't just in your head. A lot of people think that anxiety is a feeling, so therefore it's just something that you think. But anxiety and panic and fear have a strong body-mind connection. You are feeling something physical from something that you're thinking or something subconscious that is surfacing. Okay, now let's take it a step further. If you have a strong body-mind connection and you can feel these things because of a trigger, here's the great news. You can also learn triggers to minimize them because you've got the strong body-mind connection, right? So that's the great news here. When you're having an anxiety attack or when you're having a panic attack, you might think it's all in your head, but it's not all in your head. Like I said, it's also a body-mind connection. So if it were all in your head, you're not imagining that you're sweating. You're not imagining that you're having GI issues, and you're not imagining that your heart's thumping really quickly, right? Unless you've got a really good imagination. And in that case, you should be writing screenplays. But here's the reality. If you are experiencing something in your body, it's not just all in your head. So I don't want you to minimize these anxiety attacks or these panic attacks or fear symptoms. I don't want you to minimize them. I also want you to understand there is a severity to them. So wherever there is anxiety residing in your body, there is more pressure on that area of your body. So this is why it's really important for us to get to a place that is more calm and more controlled. Now, I don't want you to jump right into meditation. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, if you're anxious, just go meditate. Well, that is not really great advice. And I have a video below on that. So I want you to definitely look at that video as well. So consider this maybe a little mini course on what to do if you have anxiety. So that video is below. I also have another tapping video below, and that is actually why I made this video, because people that watched that video wanted this video. Okay, so, and even though I'm talking right now, and even though this is a lot of chatter right now, there's also going to be a timestamp below, because this is a video you need to come back to and practice. But of course, you don't need to hear all of this when you come back to practice. The first time, definitely. The second time, maybe. Third time, you don't need all of this. So we'll just go to the timestamp and you go right into the exercises. Okay, so we still need to discuss what's going on with you. Okay, so anxiety and panic are actually body responses to something that is either topical that you don't want to deal with, or something that's subconscious that you've buried. So let me give you just 2 quick examples, but there's a million examples out there. Again, this would be a 5-hour video if I went into all of them. But one quick example of something that might be subconscious is when you were 6 months old, you saw your parents fighting and it really scared you because there was yelling and there might have been tears and a lot of anger. And maybe it was just a really benign argument that they were having, but as a 6-month-old, maybe you didn't know how to process it, so you buried it. But every time you saw people arguing in the future, it sort of gave you an uneasy feeling and it started turning into anxiety. It's even possible that at that time when you were 6 months old, you were crying because that was happening and they might have been ignoring you, therefore one of your needs wasn't met. So as you can see, it could be something quite benign that happened that could be causing all of this. Or it could have been you saw something really horrible. I don't want to get into it because if I say the horrible things, YouTube will flag me. So I'm just going to say you might have experienced or you might have seen something really horrible and it was too much for you to handle and you pushed it down. Now let's get into the other thing that could be happening. The other thing that could be happening is you're in a relationship that just is not working for you. And no matter what you do, you feel like you've been just frustrated too much, you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're even feeling out of love, but you still want to try because you want to try to fall in love again. And so you might be having anxiety because of that. And honestly, for most of us, it's both. We have topical things happening in our lives. We have subconscious things happening in our lives. And lo and behold, we're going through our day, bebopping along, doing our thing, and all of a sudden we get anxious. And because it's been happening our whole lives, we think that anxiety is just the way we are. And if you have a family history of anxiety, you might think it just runs in the family. But really what's running in the family is not addressing the anxiety. It's actually quite rare to have genetic anxiety, but it's very common to have families and generations of people not talking about their issues and not solving any issues and feeling really bad. But it stops here, okay? Because you're going to learn how to alleviate some of this tension and stress and move on with your life. And I'm going to give you some of these magic buttons that you can do. So a little bit of what we're going to do first is emotional freedom technique, or otherwise known as tapping. We're also going to do a little bit of EMDR, which is something that a lot of therapists use. And there are even therapists that specialize only in EMDR. And EMDR is another wonderful way to alleviate some of that high tension or memories that have been trapped and really uncomfortable in your background. Now, I'm not saying that EMDR is going to open those memories, but it's going to open and release some of the feelings attached to those memories. And we're also going to do some fun stuff that doesn't have a name necessarily. It's just things that I've developed and I've used with my clients and they've worked. So we're going to start by putting our hands in prayer position. And in prayer position, I want you just to focus on your breathing and set an intention. So an intention is what you hope to gain out of these exercises. So for me, my intention is that anyone and everyone watching this video becomes more connected to their true self And your true self has no limits, and there's no anxiety or panic because your true self is very comfortable and self-affirming. So once we're here, I just want you to breathe a little bit. And as we're doing this exercise, just this first exercise, I want you to really think about your intention. It can be as big or as little as you want. It can be that I never feel anxiety ever again, or it can be I just get through this day, okay? Whatever it is that you need. And so we're going to start bringing some friction to our hands. And even if your hands are warm already, you're still going to be bringing that friction. And you want to go back and forth a little faster if you can. You can even bring your hands out in front of you and extend the arms, and you're going to notice the shoulders moving a little bit, okay? And then you bring it back in. And why we are doing this is not just to create warmth, but it's also a left-right mind connection. And we're also creating stimulation in the neck. And the C4 to the C7 especially, we're really creating stimulation in those nerves in the neck. We may be so stressed that our neck is tight, our shoulders are tight, so we want to get blood flow and emotional stimulation, nerve stimulation going in those areas. So again, we're going to bring our hands out if this is comfortable for you. For some people, this won't be comfortable, okay? And we're going to push our hands straight out, okay? But we want to keep our elbows as straight as possible on that out, okay? And we want to really go faster and come in, bring the thumbs to heart center, and just breathe. For some of you, your heart rate might have went up just a little bit. For others, that was very calming. Either way, coming back into this position is very grounding. Press your fingertips together a little bit more, okay? Bringing your breath into a nice easy space, as comfortable as you can. And then I want you to make a lotus. Open the hands like so. So the thumbs and the pinkies are together, fingers out. And you're in your lotus, and you're breathing. And as you're breathing, you're just focusing on that lotus. Now, a lotus can only grow in murky, muddy water. So this lotus, which is you, which is your life, which is everything that is beautiful and light about you, has come to be not only because of the sunlight and the beautiful air that we've been breathing, but also the murkiness, the darkness that maybe other people don't see. And even if there's been other people in your life that have experienced many similar experiences, they haven't walked your walk specifically. They don't have your DNA, they don't have your ancestral background, your ancestral pain, or your ancestral highlights. So they don't have your highlight reel, but they also don't have the pain reel, okay? And so what I want you to do is just breathe into the lotus, breathing in and blow out. Into the lotus, in, out. Bring the fingertips together. Now, uncross your legs if they're crossed, which mine were. Palms go on your knees. And I want you to just bring your hands back and forth. So it's left, right, and you're just gently, you're not hitting, okay? You're just going very gently back and forth. I want you to imagine almost that there's kind of a gooey gum that is connected from your hand to your thigh or your knee, and you're opening it up, taking it away, and letting it come back down, bringing it up and letting it come back down. So that mindfulness, instead of just hitting back and forth where it's sort of gravity bringing your hand down, that mindfulness of bringing something up and pushing it down is actually engaging more of your upper body. This is important because we need to bring more blood flow to the muscles. We need to get the blood flow to the body more and bring more prana, more life. So I want you to bring the hands up and down. Now, if you're someone who does have weights nearby, you can do this as well with weights. So I'm just going to use my phone right now, what it would look like. If you're holding a weight, you're just going to hold the weight up and down. Okay, so you could do that as well. So you can do anything at all here that gives just a little bit of tension. The weights are not a big deal because I want you to be able to do this anywhere at all. So you're just going, again, left and right. What this is also doing is engaging the left-right brain. I want you to still continue on breathing. Now, as you're breathing in this left-right motion, going up and down, and by the way, it doesn't matter if you hit your knees or not, or your leg. So if you just want to kind of go like this, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. The bigger the motion, the better. And I don't want you to go too high because I don't want you to bring the shoulders and arms up. I want all of this to be in a downward. So you're bringing the left-right movement. And as you are bringing the left-right movement, I want you to focus on bringing the navel inward towards the back spine. So you're imagining that there's a string from the navel to the back of your spine, and I want you to bring it in. For some of you, this is going to be really, really hard to do. And what I would like you to do now is bring your hands to palm prayer, thumb to heart center, elbows lifted up, press into the palms, press into the fingertips. Take a big inhale, big exhale. Lotus the hands, inhale, blow into the lotus. Bring your hands now in lotus, bring the fingertips together, bring the palms up, palms go to the navel. Many individuals have a disconnect from their navel downward. So you might have a strong body-mind connection, but then you might also have another disconnect happening at the same time. They can live side by side. So I want you to connect more to the navel area and your breathing. All of the organs that sustain your life. And I want you to imagine there's a beautiful golden thread from the navel, maybe even your fingers, through to the navel, to the back of your spine. And I want you to imagine that it's beautiful and gentle and golden and filled with light. And I want you to breathe into that. In this position, roll the shoulders back. Taking left-right movements, doesn't matter which way you start, you're going to bring the elbow front and back, keeping the hands where they are, other side, front and back. You're going to notice that not only is this a mind-body connection, left-right, which is a part of EMDR, but it's also opening up the shoulder blades. It's gently opening some tension that you might be feeling. So focusing on that breathing. Breathing into those movements. Release the shoulders. Hands come, heart center. Focus on your breathing. Open up that lotus of life, of your highlight reel and the scrap floor, the dark area that you might not want to remember or might not want to feel. Just breathe in and blow loving intention into that lotus. Bring the fingertips together. Go back to the friction. And as you're in the friction area, I want you to now focus on relaxing your eyelids. And I want you to bring, as you relax your eyelids, I want you to open the eyes real big and then close them. Real big surprise and real tiny, gentle movements. Bring the fingertips together only. Open up the hand here. Just press the fingers. This is usually when we're deciding something, when we really need to think about something. And I want you to really get focused here on just the fingertips. Just the movement alone, the natural movement of something that we do in our everyday life when we have to go, I need to think about something. So I want you to get to that place, okay? So we're opening up what we would maybe think of as wisdom. And I want you just to focus on wisdom, your inner inner trust. And in this position, we're also stimulating about the C4 to the C7 of the cervical spine. And keep that going here. And then I want you just to take 2 fingers, and I want you to really try to hug with your thumbs the other fingers. And with these 2 fingers, normally in EFT, the fingers are together, and people tap that way. I want you to make peace signs. Hey! Peace signs here. You know why? Because we're instilling peace in ourselves. And also, closing is very closed up, and I feel opening the fingers and opening that space while we're still protecting is a really good mindfulness, body-mind connection, subconscious kind of vibe that we're giving ourselves. So with open fingers, I want you to tap at the sides of the face and bring it down underneath. And then when I say tap, this is like gentle, like feather, butterfly kiss taps, okay? And underneath the eyes, kind of like where you would put maybe a little like cucumber if you have baggy eyes, like I do today. And then I want you to go to the crown of the head, above the ears, about 4 inches, okay? In fact, make Mickey Mouse ears right here. Go to the bottom of the ear, make Mickey Mouse ears here, and then right there is where I want you to get your peace signs and just tap. Go to the crown of the head, back to this area and come down. You will notice that this is a very tense area, and we're going to come down the jaw all the way down. Now this is not traditional EFT. I'm taking aspects of all of the things I've learned and making it something that's my own twist that I have found to be very advantageous to myself and my clients. And we're coming all the way up to, let's call it the widow's peak area. And we're going to now massage down and up and out. We're going outward towards the ears with 2 fingers open, okay? Not closed. Make sure those fingers are open. And we're going to keep going around, and we're going to make slow movements to the front of the ear. And really get in. You're going to notice that we get into this jaw area, and we're also in this area. This is a big TMJ area as well, so we want to really get the tension out, okay? So we're focusing on just moving the muscles around. By the way, this is a good little facelift. Wait till you see what I look like at the end of this. Very different than the beginning of the video. So we're going to go into this like kind of jowl area. This is really just tension. So we're going to bring this around. One of the fingers is underneath of the jaw, and we're going to come up, down and up. Now to the chin and up. Chin. Now I'm moving my hands here, so I'm not getting quite the massage that you'll be getting. So I want you to be more like this, more like bringing your hands in and pushing upward, where I'm just showing you now where to do this. Okay, so we're coming this way. So actually you're getting more of a facial than I am. And we're going to come up gently through the teeth area. We're not, the goal here is not to do a root canal on yourself, okay? Some people go a little crazy with the tension. And as you saw, I have been opening my thumbs. Remember to keep your thumbs closed if you were following me. Sorry about that. So what happens is we tend to get like, we tend to get open and get lazy, and we want to keep that hug. It's very hard to do, but if you do open up, not that big of a deal. But we want to bring the attention up where the teeth area where the teeth area is, jaw area, cheeks, go up your cheeks. Now go in towards the nostrils. Does this smell like $1 million or what, people? And we're going to come in here, in through the eyes. As you can see, we couldn't do this as well with 2 fingers tight. We're coming in and close. Open, in, and close. Open. And you might be thinking, okay, how is this going to really get rid of anxiety? Well, now while we're doing this, I want you to think of that anxiety right now. Think of your panic, and think of it as you're doing this, like your panic can't even touch this. This is like, you can't even, your panic is so weak compared to this, right? Your anxiety is so weak compared to this movement. Keep going with that. Now, I want you to get 1 finger, and you're going to go left, right, in kind of this third eyebrow area. Left, right, tap. Like you're drumming above your beautiful eyebrows. Go right to the outer corner of the eyes. Continue to drum. Focus on the beautiful human being you are, the truth under your trauma, bringing it about midway, like right where the eye pupil would be, below the eye, and really go back and forth here. Now at the same time, bring the peace sign into it. Now what I want you to do is I want you to open all of the fingers. So the thumbs are out, 4 fingers in, and you're going back and forth. Now with this, you're noticing my hands are not moving, but my head is nodding yes. That is how we're doing this exercise. And as you start to nod yes, you are saying yes to your empowerment. You are saying yes to your power. You are saying yes to your ancestors who survived so that you could be here. You are saying yes to everything that is truth within you to surface. You are allowing yourself to surface who your true self is that is not connected to anxiety. There might be anxious situations that happen in your life, but you will manage it so very differently. Now I want you to glide gently. You're just gliding, okay? This is like just the most fluttery movement of all, okay? You're just coming down to the jaw and fluttering up, releasing right at the cheekbone and coming down gently. Up, down, up. Now make it effleurage, which is kind of this kind of a movement. So it's up, effleurage down, up, effleurage down, up, effleurage down. Now go all the way up to the hairline, effleurage down, up, effleurage down. Bring your hands to prayer, thumb to thyroid, massage. So I'm going to do it like this. Massage the thyroid area. How many times do we pay attention to our thyroid, right? Like never. So I want you to really focus on massaging the thyroid back and forth very gently. Go into the glands right behind the ear, massage, bring thumbs back to thyroid. We're going to bring ourselves to prayer. Drag the thumbs to heart center. Roll the shoulders. Move the head back and forth, ear to elbows, ear to shoulder just a little bit. And then you're going to go left, right with the no sign. So left and right. Now I can't do it all the way. I was in a car accident. I'm in PT, so I'm still working on this. But if you can go further than me, go further. The idea is to go to your full extension here. So I am going to my full extension, which is not fab, but it is what it is. We have to honor our limitations, but embrace that thank God I can move my neck left to right. And I want you to do the same. So as you're moving left to right and you're in that no, you are looking at the past and looking at the future. Past and future. Tap your fingers while you're doing this. Tap your fingers while you're doing this. Doesn't matter how you do it. Now, come to center. Now, someone I was just talking to, I actually interviewed with them, just taught me something that was like amazing. I've always had people go like this for doing left-right movements. And I did that because I was adding sort of this like contraction with the arm. So you could do this, or you can cross over heart center and just go back and forth like this. And so this is how we're going to end the video, but I don't want you to stop this movement, okay? You're just going to get comfy, lean back, which is also why I wanted to lean back, be a little further from the camera as usual, but I want you just to close your eyes. If you're in a space that you can go lay down right now, I want you just to go lay down and focus on this movement. You're going to come, and I'm specifically wearing a tank top here, you're going to go into this area, which is sort of like right below, it's like right in the fleshy part below the collarbone, and I want you to, I'll do it on the outside here, you're going to press at the same time, and then go back and forth. And then every now and then just press, and then massage, and then go back and forth. So this is going to really help you. So I want you to open your eyes if your eyes are closed right now. This is the move that you're going to do if you have that magic button moment and you're in panic or anxiety. If you practice a lot of these every day, or some of these every day, when you start to have panic, when you start to feel anxiety surfacing, you can just come to your chin, move your fingertips here, and lean into the chin. And this is going to release the jaw. It's going to stimulate the muscles of the face. It's also going to stimulate the neck. You can also come right in and hold your hands tight, make a quick lotus, and then come back together again. You can also, quick button for you, is going to be opening the hands, going to the navel. If you tend to have GI issues, you go to the navel. If you tend to have heart issues, palpitations with your anxiety, come to the cross area or heart center and lotus and breathe. If you tend to have headaches, you're going to definitely go to this area. So depending on where your symptoms are, that's your magic button. So wherever what you feel like is your problem is actually your solution. And when you get to wherever the area is that is what you think is the problem, breathe into it and ask for your truth to surface. You might find yourself crying. If you do find yourself crying, I'm here for you. Please join our support group, which is an email that I send out every single Friday. And also I include a video in it. I also include ways to connect and different items that we're doing. So for instance, you might be seeing this a little too late, but right now what we're doing is tomorrow, actually, we're going to be looking at this book, The 4 Agreements. So we're always doing something that we're connecting on Zoom or on a Facebook Live or something like that. I don't want you to think that you're alone. And not only do I not want you to feel alone, I want you more than anything to feel the truth that is underneath of your trauma. And I want you to bring more of that body-mind connection together. And that's what this whole video was all about. So I want to thank you. All right, I have another video for you. And don't forget to check out the videos below.